Now, I hate to ever let an opportunity pass in which I could embarrass Mr. Bailey. And so, this has one button on it. And one way it says O-N. And the other way it says O-F-F. It works just like your clicker for your picture box that you got at your house. You can't take the cold water out of him. It doesn't matter how hard. Anyway, our next band that's going to perform is the Olivet High School Symphonic Winds. The first piece that they're going to play for you is called Carmina Burana. It actually has 13 movements, and the band is going to play 6 of those. And we ask that you hold your applause in between each of the movements. You will, and applause at the end. You will know when it's over because Mr. McNeil will step down off the podium and expect you to clap for him. So, you're going to really enjoy this concert. It's going to be great. It dawned on me this afternoon that I would be the last person to ever say this, and I got one chill bump right there. So if you would, at this time, please welcome the Olivet High School Symphonic Winds under the direction of Mr. Sid McNeil.
Thanks for being here tonight. It's a pleasure. Tonight's all about the kids. And, you know, there's a lot of emotions going on, but tonight's about the kids. Since the emotions are on, it made me think, I call them kids all the time, but I will never forget my first year as a band director, 16 years ago. I called the people on the stage kids. And I was just a kid, actually. You know, I was young. And after the concert, some mom got on to me for calling them a kid. And so I'll never forget that as long as I live, but I won't forget it, but I'm still going to call them kids. That's just what they are. So they're my kids. Hope you don't mind that. That first piece was Carmina Burana by Carl Orff. I don't know if you know much about scores of music, but this is the score to it, and it's miles long. And I'll get behind here so I can yell. But it's a huge piece of music. It's one that high school bands don't typically play. Now, those of you who've been around a while know that that's what we typically do. We punish ourselves, I guess, but you heard how great they play. And so I'm very, very fortunate to be able to play this piece, one of my favorite pieces, with a high school ensemble. And that's something that I don't take lightly. Such beautiful music inside it. I was going to read the program notes, I had it highlighted and everything, but I'm not going to do that. If you want to know all about it, I'll let you know later. I'll give you a copy of it, but it's a beautiful piece of music, and I hope you enjoyed that. Okay, you can have that back. The second piece. The next piece of music we're going to play for you is a piece called Elsa's Procession to the Cathedral. It's quite smaller for those of you who got bored just then. So this piece is yet another one of those pieces that you just don't play at contests. Let alone together, we play these at contests. But you just don't play this piece at contests. High school bands just don't play it. As a matter of fact, I do a lot of listening, especially nowadays with YouTube and that sort of thing. There are no high school ensembles that I could find, except one honor band I found that didn't do a great job on it. But no high school ensembles recordings are on there. There's going to be, because Olive Branch did a fantastic job this past Friday on this piece of music. You're going to love this piece. Now, I will tell you that when picking this piece of music, to be perfectly honest with you, this was going to be the last song that we played. I was thinking of this concert well before the even festival, and so I knew this was going to be my final concert here, and I thought this is going to be the piece I'll go out on. And so it's not going to be, because we're going to play another one, and I'll tell you why later. But this piece is sort of a swan song. It's written by Richard Wagner. Now I have the program notes on this marked as well, but I will read only one line here, and it says, "There is nothing in the actual performing of this score that should prove hazardous to either technique or musicianship." Now, that's odd to have in a score, but in all of Wagner's pieces that's in there, and many of them are hazardous, and so they've had to start writing that in there because people who sing Wagner and people who play Wagner ruin their chops, what we call chops, or embouchures and things, because it demands so much from the performer. Now, this is not one of those pieces, so don't go suing me or anything, but this piece is very challenging, if not for no other reason, for intonation and pitch. You're going to notice a lot in this next piece. We're going to push and pull. What I mean is we're not going to stay the same tempo. That's something that's not, you can't teach that. That's something that these kids must know and have built inside of them. And once I knew that was there, I knew we could play this piece. You're going to love it. It's a steady crescendo. It starts real soft with a quintet with woodwinds, and through the entire piece is one steady crescendo. And what it is Elsa trying to process to the cathedral. Now, the typical saying for band programs, because last year Ole Miss played this at a festival, and I heard them play it. And the big joke was, did Elsa make it to the cathedral? Because oftentimes when you play this piece, she falls and she never makes it. It's so difficult. And so we're going to attempt tonight to see if we can get her married off. And you're going to love this piece. This is one of my favorite pieces. And we cried together on this piece because it's emotional. You'll see what I'm talking about once we play it. It's emotional, it's challenging, it's difficult, it's sensitive. For you masculine fellows like myself, it's hard to admit all of that, but if you just sit back and listen and think about, I'm going to be thinking about, obviously, my farewell. And so you find that inner thing to think about, and you're going to love this piece. It's beautiful, and I'm going to stop talking, and we're going to play it now. This is Elsa's Procession to the Cathedral.
these are all our sponsors, and they help us out throughout the year, and some of them do things for us, a lot of them contribute money to our program, and we don't mention them enough. So I want to make sure we get a chance to mention all of our sponsors. This year our sponsors are Walmart, Sonic Old Town, Kuhn and Nagel, Kroger, First Security Bank, Italia East, Amro Music, Old Style Barbecue, Bronx Park Management, Alfred Contracting and Maintenance, Olive Branch Auto Body, Economy Rental Equipment and Sales, Alderson Roofing and Sheet Metal, Domino's Pizza, and Exmark Custom Road Cases. So if any of those people are here, thank you so much for supporting our program and all that y'all do.
Okay. Thank you so much for that. That was a beautiful piece of music. You know, it's just a wonderful piece. I hope you enjoyed it as much as we enjoyed it working on it. Tonight is all about our students and our music. And I would like to now recognize the seniors of this ensemble. And to be able to have this music that we played tonight and this year in their memory. They're gonna remember that the rest of their lives. They will never forget these pieces of music. And I'm just very excited about the musicianship that we have with our seniors. We're going to miss them so very much. They're a very talented group of individuals. If you're a senior on the stage, you please stand. Didn't know it was that going to be that good of a group. So, man, that's a good group of kids right there. We have had a student teacher this semester, and the student teacher is one who's almost finished with their degree, and the only thing they have left is the intern, and to come and learn the reality of band world. We spend 3.5 years, in her case, in the classroom at a university, and they teach us the hierarchy of music. It's called music education. Very rarely do you take a class that deals with teenagers. Very rarely do you take a class that deals with what do you do when a 6th grader throws up on the floor. And those are real life lessons that we just don't get taught at the college. And so we student teach for a semester so that we can, learn those things, because it's totally different than spending time in the classroom. And this student teacher is very special to me. She happens to be my 21st student teacher. Now I say mine, she's not really mine, she's ours, and Mr. Bailey and the rest of the staff has done most of the work for her, but she's here and under the director of bands. I guess she started under my director of bands, and so I'm going to call her mine. I hope that's all right, Mom. I know she's in the audience somewhere. She's special because she went to school here. And she sat right there for a long time on the end of that clarinet row, first chair. And she's a marvelous musician. And I grew to love her and her family dearly, and I treat her as one of my own. And I just want to recognize her, and I can't describe how joyful it is to have one come back to student teach, knowing that she's going to go out into the world and be a band director. And we had something to do with that as a staff here. And so I want to recognize now Ms. Courtney Ware. Okay, our booster organization is second to none. If you're not involved with the boosters, you need to get involved. I may not ever get a chance to tell this story, so I'm going to tell it. I'm going to make it a quick story. My parents, I love them to death, were not involved in the booster club. I am 41 years old and I still remember that. So if you want to make an impression on your child's life, don't join the booster club. Join the booster club. Help them out. Help them flip burgers. I know you say, well, that's mandatory. Yeah, but there's so much more to it than the Friday nights football games. Join the club. Help them out. They need money. This program needs money. and it's not just to spend frivolous. You understand what it costs to do this sort of stuff. And so join the Booster Club, and I want to thank the Booster Club for all that they've done for this band program. And so I want you to give the officers, Mr. Ron and Mr. Jack, I guess Mr. Jack is the official president, and all of the executive board a big hand. This ensemble, let's see, how do I want to go next? I want to say that next. I guess I will. Yeah, this ensemble is mine. This is my baby, and this is what I live for in the music world. This is, and I mean this from the bottom of my heart, and I don't mean it in any negative way, but only a positive way. But if I could sit on that stand, on that podium every day of my career, I would still be a band director. If I could do this every day, and then get off of that podium, and then go home, I would do it every day. Or I could stay on that podium for 8 hours, it doesn't matter. If I could stay with this group every day, I'd still be a band director. Because it's so wonderful. I wish all of you could experience the joy of getting in front of the group. It's just a marvelous, and each and every year we have it. It's not, this is a special group, but every year we have this group, the symphonic band, and it's just a privilege to be able to say that I'm a part of that. This ensemble went and played the music that you just heard, and scored all superior ratings from every judge, and all superior ratings in sight reading, which I was very, very nervous about. So much so, and I told the band this yesterday, that I had to take medicine because I was so nervous about it. But this ensemble made all superiors from every judge, and so I'd like for you to give them a round of applause. They call that the Sweepstakes Award. Sweepstakes is, I'm not a fan of the Sweepstakes Award, and I can tell you why. I'll tell you another day if you want to sit and listen to me ramble. But I'm not a fan of it, but we have won the Sweepstakes Award since they started doing it 6 years ago is when we started the Sweepstakes Award in Mississippi. And we won it every year since it started. And that means you get a one from every judge in every competition, marching and concert. And so the band sitting on stage at Olive Branch High School has never received a 2, ever, in any student sitting in this ensemble. And so that is a huge feat. And so kudos to you guys. As you all know, we've had a change of plans mid-year, and I'd like to thank the staff that you've seen, Mr. Bailey, Mr. Gunn, and Mr. Mayo, for what they've done and stepped up to had to do. We've had to change a lot of things quickly, and I just want to thank them for that because it has it's not been easy, it's not been fun sometimes, but I want to thank them for stepping up to the plate and helping this program out. And if you would give all the staff a round of applause. I'm out of notes. I was looking at the notes. I'm out of notes. I'm not going to make this about me. You all that know, if you have kids in the band, you probably know. I'm moving into an administrative role. I'll tell you the how it happened, and I'll tell you a little bit about the mushy part, and that's about it. I'm not going to talk a lot. If you want to know the real stuff and you want to start crying, come to the banquet. Buy a ticket and come to the banquet. But tonight is about them. And I don't want to make it about me, but I know that some of you have still come up to me and asked questions. And so simply it is this. A few years ago, I didn't like the way that our band program was being treated. And so I decided that if I can't do something about it, I was going to fix it myself. And so I got into school. And yes, that was a dumb move on my part. And so, but I made it. And I made it to, I got my degree. And it was very difficult. And I want to thank my dear, wonderful, lovely wife for taking, for putting up with me while I had to do that program. And I want to thank my 6-year-old son, Lee, for his awesomeness while I went through it. And so, I know you're tired of clapping, but sorry, thanks for doing that. the original intent was to go 3 or 4 more years in band and then ease into the administrative role. And one day in November, while I was going to Hernando High School to judge their concert band auditions, I got a call. And obviously it was asking me if I wanted the position at Olive Branch High School, and said I could still contain my membership with MBA, the Mississippi Bandmasters Association, and still be the president of the Mississippi Bandmasters Association next year, and still have be at the school with my students, and get a whole lot more time at home with my family, and get a big pay raise. Would you like it? And so, but the worst part was I said, you have 2 hours. And so, and in those 2 hours, I had to judge an audition. And so, after the 2 hours was up, my wife and I decided that, you know, we are believers in God, and we believe in our callings, and I believe that this was put in my lap, and if I say no, then that would just be not very smart of me, and I want to do right by Him. And so we said yes, because I get to still see these wonderful people that don't graduate, and I still get to do that, and I get to let my best friend come and be the director of bands, and I get to work under my other best friend's wife, Miss Kilo. And so everything just sort of lined up, and I couldn't say no, and so that's how that went down. And it's a privilege to be able to say I get to stay at Olive Branch High School. I will, after this year, I've already been promised tenure there, and I will be staying. And so I'm excited about that I get to stay at Olive Branch High School. I have a deep love for Olive Branch, and I will be there for hopefully a long time. My wife and I just bought a house, and so we have to stay somewhere close. And this program has meant the world to me. We've made more success and more ratings than I'll ever be able to talk about. But you know, the ratings and the success is one thing, but to be able to grow and mold musicians is my most favorite part. And I'm so thrilled that these musicians started in 6th grade not knowing anything, and then every year they've stepped up to what you hear now. And what an honor that is. And so I want to thank everybody who has had a part in the band career. If you want to hear more mushy stuff, come to the banquet. I'm going to make this about them tonight. This next and final piece is the closer. Now, I should have ended in All Rights with Elsa's, because that's the swan song. That's me leaving. That's me holding the baton in the air. That's it, you know. That would have looked great. However, the reality is that I am known, and they made me a little sign today, as the March King in the state of Mississippi. We are known, this program is known for playing marches. Many bands don't play marches anymore because they're difficult. But it is the #1 teaching tool that you could ever use in this setting. And so, you know, marches have so many innuendos and styles and little nuances is probably what I should have said, not innuendos, but a nuance that I hope that you can understand and hear tonight, the little things that we do inside of a march. The little growth and the little depression and the soft and the loud and the little hits and the accents and the length of the note. We call it vertical alignment. And so there's so much that goes on in a march that you will never know about, because it's a teaching tool more than it is a performing tool. However, it is a toe tapper, and I know you're going to love this. Here's the trick, though. Here's what I've decided to do. I'm not going to conduct this march. The truth of the matter is, what I do on the podium is showmanship. You know, I'm fake. I don't really do much up there at this point. You notice I don't even have music in front of me tonight. So what I'm doing is show. But the truth of the matter is, all of these young people sitting on this stage are the ones who are really making the music. Now, I'm getting some of the credit for that, but I really, in all reality, that's where the credit should go. You're going to see that because I'm not going to conduct this. I'm going to count it off, and I'm going to get off the podium. I'm going to listen, just like you are. And I want you to hear just how wonderful they play without anybody there. And so I heard the other day that Mr. McNeil, what are we going to do without you? And the reality is you don't need me. You're already there. You don't need me, and you have Mr. Bailey and the rest of the staff. But the reality is, and you're going to see, is that we've grown so much in the 11 years that I've been here. But the reality is that they don't need anybody on that podium to make great music. And so thank you for coming tonight. I hope you enjoy this final piece. This is The Pathfinder of Panama by John Philip Sousa.